Hey, I'm Brian Knight. Thank you for joining me on my channel, The Successful Slob. Today we're going to dive into how to choose a career, whether you're working for yourself or you're working for someone else. If you're brand new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. I do appreciate it. So, choosing a career is very interesting because what always seems like, or maybe seems like, a very prestigious field to go into, maybe a very intellectual degree, doesn't always pay as much as you think it does. I mean, get the idea behind this channel. I mean, here I am, my hair, I combed it, it's just I still have some bedhead. I'm in this white shirt with a beautiful V-neck, and so it seems like he's just not even trying. He's not even trying. But there are people I know who has this same approach. They work very hard in their field, but they're good at what they do, and they make more money than people who are in suits and ties, who has a bunch of degrees behind their head in their office. So that's the reason I call this channel The Successful Slob, is because success is not always as it seems. For instance, there's a gentleman here in the upstate of South Carolina. He owns a sewage truck, so he actually will come to your house and pump out your sewage. That's a crappy, pun intended, job. This guy makes over $240,000 a year. Now, there's other people in the upstate of South Carolina, and probably in areas where you live, that they have the suit and tie and they drive the BMW or the Mercedes, and somehow he makes more money than them. And he is literally pumping crap, human waste, out of a sewage. But how many of you would go, yeah, I want to drive a sewage truck. I want to own a sewage truck. Very few of you. And even myself, I'm like, not really up for, a crappy job. But the idea behind picking a career and picking a possible business to even get into is based off of money. Now, if you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old and you're watching this video and your mind has been filled with I'm just going to go get the best degree I can for my passion, that might be the biggest waste of money that you could ever embark on. I'm just telling you, that is a very, very dangerous move, career and life-wise, unless you're going to become, a missionary. We know missionaries don't make money. Unless you're going to become a school teacher. We know that most school teachers, they really don't make a lot of money. We know that most police officers don't make a lot of money. Unless you go into it because you truly feel like you're called to do it. The number one reason why you go into a career is to earn money. So I'm going to ask this in probably a very insulting way, but just stick with me. Why in the world would you select willingly, you have free will, select a career path that really has a really low ceiling? There's nowhere you can go. It's like you start out the career and you're right here and there's the ceiling. It's just, there's a ceiling. You're going nowhere. You really won't earn much money. The pay will probably increase according to inflation. I know some jobs that really doesn't increase according to cost of living, inflation, blah, blah, blah. So how should you choose your career? First of all, I'm going to give you this is my opinion and things that I've read. I'm just going to give this to you, and I want you to really think about this. I want you to take a piece of paper, get you a pen, pencil, whatever. And I want you to get in a quiet place. I want you to get somewhere where the kids aren't running around, the dog's not barking. You might have to do this early in the morning. You're like, Brian, I'm not a morning person. This is worth it to at least find the time somewhere to get where you can think and you can think clearly. Okay? I want you to write down, what are you actually good at? That's a very dangerous rabbit hole. Because what you're good at and what you enjoy, passion, we've heard that whole passion. A lot of people are talking about passion, how it can be very dangerous, and that's very true. Because your passion could be in something that A, you're not good at, but you're passionate about. A lot of people forget that. You can be bad at your passion. Second of all, your passion can be absolutely, it doesn't pay you anything. If you want to be an actor or an artist or a musician, I'm a musician, you may still have to work a regular job just to put food on the table and pay for rent/mortgage, whatever. Especially if you have a family, you definitely have to take care of them. That's if you're a decent person, by the way. For some reason, there's a lot of people who has forgot that if you have a family, for some reason, you're supposed to take care of them. That's not funny to some people because they get offended because their family is not their priority. If you're me, your family is your only priority. So you need to be very careful when you write down your passion and what you're good at. But write down what you're good at. Now step back and look, can you earn money with this skill starting your own business or working for someone? Okay? Then you go from there. If yes, I would put together a resume. I'd start applying to jobs. I would start reaching out to people maybe that you know who could possibly help you. Finding jobs a lot of times is people that you know. In the job that I'm currently working, I got into the company because I know somebody there at the company. The job prior to that, I knew somebody at the company. I'm just telling you, it's good to reach out to people. Don't do it on Facebook because, and why I say that is just don't send out like this mass link. I'm looking for a job. Narrow down people to strategically, even though you may know them very well, to strategically come to them and say, hey, I'm interested in this field. Would you help me? Is there any advice that you have for me? And just see what they can do for you. If you don't know, someone to reach out to, I would try certain recruiters. I would look for recruiters in your area. Be very careful there. Recruiters will call you up and they'll be like, yeah, man, we're looking for somebody just like you. And man, you get your hopes up and you're starting to feel good and then you never hear from them, okay? But I would reach out to people. I would reach out to just go through like Indeed.com. By the way, they're not sponsoring this, but like Indeed.com and other sites like that. Be very careful getting on like Craigslist, and you get on Craigslist jobs. I've done this in the past, and $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, and you find out that in insurance, there's people, I have family members, they've made a lot of money in insurance. I was in insurance for 6 years, didn't do very well in it. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But a lot of times it's insurance companies or people who started their own insurance company and they're just trying to pull people in to build basically their own nest egg. Part of that, I don't blame them. But if you're somebody like yourself and you're really looking to build something, you might as well build your own agency because you're building an agency for somebody else. So you get where I'm going there. Just be very careful there. So the next thing to do after you've looked at what you're good at and you've narrowed it down, if you kind of are striking out at what to do, the next thing I would do is look at things that you're interested in. And then, like, say you're good with technology and computers, and you like working with software, and you like troubleshooting software. There's several certificates that you don't even have to get a degree that you could dive into. Whether you go through a local technical college. I know that Google, once again, not sponsoring this video, that they have certain certificate programs that you can go through from just a couple of weeks to 6 months. You can explore those options. Also, look for jobs. Go in and go into Google, type in obscure jobs that pay well. Just try it. Obscure jobs nobody really thinks about or considers. Do that. You might be surprised. A job that I know some gentlemen who make really good money, and when I say really good money, I'll qualify, 100 plus per year, is being a catastrophic insurance adjuster. So when hurricanes and natural disasters come through, floods and what have you, these guys have been trained. They have their insurance adjuster's license. They work for contractors who will actually send them out. This is a very tough job. You could be gone for months. I know one gentleman who, when Hurricane Katrina hit back in, 2004-ish, somewhere in there, forgive me if I got the year wrong, he was gone to Louisiana, and he's from South Carolina. He was gone to Louisiana for over a year. But he made he made well over $200,000 or $300,000 in that year. It might even been 4, come to think of it. So you do have to have training for these jobs. You're just not going to go get your insurance adjuster's license and then boom, you're making, $200,000 or $300,000. But see, that's a job that a lot of people don't think about. So look into jobs that are obscure, that maybe not everybody's beating the door down to get into. The next way to narrow down what career to choose, and this is with anything, and I could have said this at the beginning, but I'm saying this here, the video, I hope you've stuck with me. You need to look at how in demand will this job be, not only now, but for years to come. So if you're working in the tech industry, if you're working in the building industry, insurance, there will always be catastrophic, acts of God, as it's called at times. Stuff's going to happen. You're always going to need insurance adjusters. They're always going to need them. But will you always need someone who manufactures CDs? Well, obviously not, because everything's streaming. Everything is, we went from listening to music on CDs to listening to it on iTunes, Spotify, blah, blah, blah. Once again, not sponsored, but if you want to, I won't stop you. You need to look at the forecast of the industry that you're going into, because it would be really, really sad for you to spend all this time getting education, to build expertise in a field, and in 10 years, the industry's gone. I'm just telling you, you need to consider these things. Also, once again, going back to the sewage truck, there are 500,000 sales jobs, if not more than that, on Indeed.com. There are directors of this and directors of that. There's VP of this and VP of that. And there are people who are dying to get those jobs. They are dying, they just to get into those jobs. They'll do anything to get into those jobs. And I understand, because a lot of those jobs pay very well. But what happened if you could buy a sewage truck and start pumping sewage, and in 2 years, 3 years, you're making $200,000 a year? As to where to become VP of a company, you probably are going to have a bachelor's, an MBA, and many, many years at the company that you're working for, and you're probably going to have to be lucky. Or you buy the sewage truck. I'm not saying that everybody should go buy a sewage truck. It's just an example. Being willing to do jobs that other people may not be willing to do could be your key to not only earning solid money, but to earning great money, and maybe even working for yourself. Well, I'm Brian Knight. Thank you so much. If this video has helped you, please let me know. Go to the comments below. Let me know what you think. Tell me about some jobs that maybe you found that's like, I can't believe that this was even a job. And I mean, it may not even be you. It may be somebody that you know is making killer money. I would love to know about it. Share it with everyone that's on here. Do hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because it does help my little channel out. And when you hit the notification button, it'll actually notify you when I upload videos. And I believe this information that I've posted in the past, posting now, and posting later would definitely help you. Thank you so much for joining me on The Successful Slob.